Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Earthen's Den. And in this episode, this is going to be very brief, but I want to talk to you guys about this concept of a simp. And oftentimes I think that the word simp and the way that we use it in the context and just its overall depiction is somebody who is like very nice, you know what I mean? Like a people pleasing type of person, like a pushover. And I feel like it's not even just like a man thing. I don't think it's a gender, for that. I don't think that that's like in the confines of that word. I feel like a simp is somebody who just carries themselves in such a way that is just very insecure, and you let the world see it. You know what I mean? You let the world see it, and the world knows it, and people address you as such, and this is something I'm really passionate about because when I was younger, I used to get bullied, and I just can't. So now, it's not really ironic, but of course, now I can't stand bullies. I can't stand bullies, and I don't even care what age, what stage, I can't stand it. You know what I mean? I don't like people who are nasty to people. Like I said, I've never been somebody who's like just super, super nice. You know what I mean? I pretty much have always kind of been the type of person to just let the chips fall where they may, but I'm a very kind person, and I gotta, that's just me, right? But one thing I can honestly say, going through that younger, earlier on in my years, it just kind of switched when I got older. And I think maybe it happened just to kind of like, it was some form of humility. It was a very humbling experience. But once I found myself, things changed. And I'm on here today because it is so important that you know who you are. I don't care what you're going through. I don't care what your bank account looks like. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care. You got to carry yourself in such a way. And I get on here and I say that. And I know that this is, I wouldn't say this is for my ladies, but I also feel like this is for men as well. When you're walking around, when your head is down, when you're in a space where you just look insecure, you look uncertain of yourself, people will try you. And I'm not saying walk around aggressive, mean. I'm a very pleasant person. Like, I'm always smiling. That's just me. That's just my demeanor. I'm just a very pleasant person. You know what I mean? I'm always happy. I'm always chipper. But I have never, the things that people tell me that happen to them and such, things like that, they don't happen to me. And I'm not on here to be, tooting no horn or talking cocky, but I'm just going to let you know straight up, I don't give off that energy. I'm like such a sweetheart. Everybody knows that. You know what I mean? I'm such a sweetheart, but you guys, I don't give off that energy. So certain things people tell me like, oh, now don't get me wrong, y'all. Hear me clearly when I say this. What other people do to you is a reflection of themselves. It's not really anything. It doesn't have anything to do with you. But let me just say that when you're in that space and you're uncertain, you can be moved. And the way I carry myself, because I know who I am as a queen, as a child of God, and as a black woman, I can't be moved. So there are certain things that people tell me that happen to them in regards to like how people come at them, and it doesn't happen to me because I don't give off that energy. I don't give off that aura. You know what I mean? And so I just wanted to get on here and say, like, hear it in my voice. Feel it within your soul. Feel it within your spirit. You got to know who you are, because this world is like people will really like be on that with you. You know what I mean? And I'm not. This is not for you to be like on the raw. I don't do drama. I've never in my life been a drama-filled person. I had one person in my life who was like who was like drama filled. Done. You know what I mean? Like, I do not do drama like at all. That's never been what I'm about. I'm not at all, y'all. But yeah, so I just had to get on here because you got to check yourself. Check yourself. How are you carrying yourself? How are you moving through the world? What are you telling yourself? You guys, when it comes to self-love, it is continuous, okay? And nobody's going to judge you for your evolution and your process and just where you are in certain seasons, because let me tell you something that I know, right? At the end of the day, we were never taught this. You guys, this is the first generation where consciousness has been prevalent. Right? This is the first era where information has been available to us at such a rapid rate. You know what I mean? Certain things, like even like parenting, for example. That's why I say it's so important to forgive your parents, because this information was withheld from us for so long. So, these methods, everything that's being, put out in the world, and all of this information that's accessible, you got to understand this is all new. Right? And so when it comes to like self-love and your journey, be patient with yourself. But at the end of the day, y'all, I'm telling you, it takes work. Confidence is something you have to work at. I don't think that anybody is really, well, I'm not going to say that we're not born with it, because I do think that there was a little part of me that was kind of like always born with it. But at the same time, I think it's something that you really have to develop. I think it's something that you really have to work at. You know what I mean? And I know for me, when I was younger, I remember my dad would be like, pick your head up. And I remember just being that shy girl that was just very insecure, and I didn't like it. I didn't like the way people treated me. I didn't like the way how I couldn't speak up for myself. I didn't like it at all. I didn't feel seen. It was horrible. And so if you are an adult and you're in that space, I'm telling you right now, man, you got to check yourself. Check yourself and understand that self-love is work, and you're not in competition with anybody else. You know what I mean? So that looked like, just years of just reflection. If you are a spiritual person, I myself definitely went through the period of, the dark night of my soul, really had to get up in them crevices, heal certain things, and it's continuous, right? Because some things still come up, right? But at the end of the day, I'm a lot further than I was, and I have a long way to go, but I'm very thankful for where I'm at, and I'm present with that, and I'm good with that. You know what I mean? I'm very thankful. But yeah, so that looks like, if it's affirmations, if it's you working out, like taking care of your body, you know what I mean? The biggest thing I would probably honestly say is just being true to yourself. If you know in your heart of hearts, and then I hate to necessarily use a materialistic representation, but I'm just gonna go for it because I just this was what came to my mind. If you are somebody and you're like, I want a Bentley, you want a Bentley, and you settle for a Ford Fusion because you feel like you can't get that Bentley, but within your heart that something's pulling you towards that Bentley. You got to be true to yourself. And I think that us playing small, really, it limits us in so many ways. And I think that right there plays on our insecurities, and I think it's that right there that makes us insecure, because when you can do something, right, or your potential and you're living below that, it's almost like a smack in the face to you. It's like, it's probably one of the biggest betrayals. I think that's like way worse than any relationship, friendship, any other betrayal that you've ever experienced in your life or will experience. It's nothing greater than betraying yourself. The times when I would play small, man, I felt like crap. I felt like crap. My spirit was like, it's this song, you guys. It's called Rise. It's by Willow Smith. And man, I'm not even going to try to pronounce the other young lady's name. I think it's like, it starts with a J, but it's called Rise. And I've been listening to this song so much because I was telling I'm like, I really am craving a spiritual ascension. And I'm not going to go like completely left here, but that just lets me know that there is something more. You know what I mean? And so if you're in that space and there's something inside of you that is propelling you to do more, or to just kind of, it's pulling you into such a way or a direction, it's important. And if you believe that you can have something, you will have it. And the thing is, you guys, I swear to you, it's like, if you want something, like if you want it bad enough, you can get it. You know what I mean? But you have to trust that, and you have to know that, and you have to be self-motivated. Nobody can do that for you. That's what we have to realize. And I think this is why like relationships and things like that oftentimes kind of fall apart, because we think that another person can do certain things for us in regards to just our own self-development and self-worth and value. Like, I think people can come into your life and enhance it, or they can completely rip it to shreds. But most importantly, it's the relationship that you have with yourself that matters. You know what I mean? And I was sitting here in the funk, and, I had to pull myself together, and here I am on here making this podcast. This is great. If I could like record myself within a day, I think, you guys, I'm going to work on this vlog, y'all. I'm going to do it. It's funny. It's really funny because it's like, I'm so human. I'm so human, but you got to pull yourself out of those funks. And so now it really amazes me the time that I spend in those spaces, because it's not long. It's not long. But I can't afford to. I can't afford to, not with everything that's in front of me, not with everything that is riding on this. For me, it is generational. You know what I mean? So that just that's kind of like my why, and, why I do what I do, and, why I go so hard in that way. Is just as far as just like, and the people who listen, the people who I get on here and I inspire. I appreciate you guys so much. Shout out to you guys. You guys are great. But yeah, so I hope everybody's having a great day. Self-care it's a big thing. It's a big thing. And so I think just taking care of your body, feeding your mind, feeding your spirit, is something about that just kind of says, I love you to your brain, and it just kind of works. So yeah, man, I think a simp is somebody who just, you gotta check yourself. You really have to check yourself, and you got to be real. How are you carrying yourself? Are you insecure? Don't be in denial about it. I think that's probably like the worst thing, is being in denial, because when you're in denial, you can't fix anything. You can't change. You can't become a better person. Now, I'm not really one for faking it till you make it, just because I don't even do, like, I can't stand facades. It sucks. It's so much to upkeep as well, and it's so pretentious. But if you are somebody and you have to kind of fake it till you make it, then that may just have to be what you need to do. The reason why I say that is because you don't really believe it and you don't really feel it within yourself. And I think even just saying it, yes, you can start to create that belief, because I've done that. But at the end of the day, you have to believe it. You got to believe that. So find what works for you. I just kind of gave you guys some tips on kind of how to develop confidence. And I think last season I did a podcast on confidence. So check that out, and just, I hope everybody has a great day. This COVID, man, honey, I never step into that space. So I'm like, it could be so much worse, but trying times, trying times. If this is not pushing, like, this is like this year is just, oh my God, it's so much pressure already. And then we're only like 22 days in the year. I think today is actually the 21st. No, today's definitely 22nd. But okay, I'm going to go water my plants, and hope everybody has a great Friday. I'm going to leave you guys with your thoughts.